Yo, it's time for another one of these videos. I spoil you, don't I? I'm just kidding. Because my last video was the first time doing anything like that, I was pretty eager to get it out, so I missed a few things. So here we go, some more ideas. Hopefully I won't fucking forget anything this time. Regarding story mode again, a few things I forgot. Any character that's in a battle should be playable, unless the battle requires certain characters to retreat. The characters in the battle should play the stage slightly differently. Like in 8, if you played Guandu, which is one of my favourite stages, for Wei, if you played as Yue Jin, you defended the main camp and Cao Cao, well, Cao even, instead of attacking Baima and Yanjin. Also Nan territory for Wu, you played as Lu Meng, and you do the sneak attack around those set of bases where Zhou Yu protects the base and draws everyone in. I think things like that would be pretty cool. None of this spawn in the same place shit, because it's stupid. Speaking of which, replace the officers in the stage that you play as. So, example, I did a video the other day of 8 Empires, Yellow Turban Rebellion, and I was going to do it as Sun Jian, but he already appears in that stage. So you have 2 of the same character. It's fucking lazy. Just put some effort in. Speaking of lazy, the inevitable topic of English dubs. They should have them. End of. The games are known for being mindless fun, and the English dubs add to that, don't they? And who can forget classic lines like these?
I will destroy them all! No, it can't be over yet! Enemy officer defeated!
I feel that just to have Japanese takes some of the fun away. Now there's people that will come out and say, but the Japanese sounds better, which is a lie, because that's an opinion and not fact. And the other thing is they don't even bother to translate properly. Nearly everyone says the same thing when they defeat an officer in Japanese, and yet the English translation is different for everyone. Like Zhong Hui says whatever it is in Japanese. I'm not doing an impression of that. I can say it, but I'm not gonna. And yeah, in English it's like 4 fucking lines of dialogue, like fucking paragraph of dialogue when he says like 3 words. It's fucking bullshit. Just fucking stop taking the piss out of us. It's like Senran Kagura Estival Versus did the same. They all fucking land and say their name, and the fucking translation is off. It's like they all say the same thing. We go, it's not. It's fucking dumb. The other argument of saying that they shouldn't have English dubs is it's more authentic, which is fucking retarded, because there's a problem with that, isn't there? And that's that the games are set in China, where, you know, which has the largest, well, Chinese is the largest spoken language in the world. A couple of billion people speak that, whereas Japan, the only people that speak Japanese is in Japan, so, you know, fuck off. I hope they'll add English dubs. I mean, they said they were going to in 8 Empires, as opposed to 7 Empires, where they said right off the bat it would just be in Japanese. So, although, well, you could say they did actually add an English voice for Naotora in Dead or Alive Last Round, when she's never had one before. So, who knows? I'd like to see it, but. Regarding the previous video where I said every faction should have a story, I've got some ideas from although hypothetical routes that diverge may not be possible, so just extra stages after their final historical battle will probably be the case here. Well, yeah, whatever. I'll briefly cover who the playable characters would be. This is assuming they'll get added. Yuan Shao, you'd have Yuan Shao, obviously, or Yuan Shao. I'm just doing whichever last Dynasty Warriors game I played for the pronunciations. Zenji, Zhang He, Shun Yu, and Guo Jie. Well, those 2 for the early stages only. Wen Chou and Yon Liang would be playables. He defeats Cao Cao, Guandu, and then goes on to attack an alliance of Sun Ce and Liu Bei, forcing him to retreat and killing Liu Bei for deserting him. Then face the forces of Zhonglu and Liu Zhang in the west. The final battle could be against Sun Ce again, but at Chibi. Dongjua, Zhang Liao, Li Jue, Huashong, Jiashu, Lu Bu, Diao Chan, and Sun Jian be playable for the hypothetical route. After completing the main story, would unlock you the chance to recruit Sun Jian to his forces, like Dongjua wanted to in the book. I did cover some of this in my last video. Defeating the alliance at Hulai Gate to be defeated by defeating the alliance at Hulai Gate, he defeated the surrounding warlords, starting with Ma Teng in Liang. He then attacks both Yuan Shao and Cao Cao at Guandu. The final battle will be a different version of his assassination that would pit him against Sun Jian, Lu Bu, and Diao Chan, and the remnants of allied forces. Nanman, Menghua, Zhurong, Guansua, and Bao. I can't even fucking pronounce her last name, so I'm not gonna. But Guansua's wife, the one Japanese fans seem to love that everyone else fucking hates, and I hate her as well. At Nanzhong, they capture Guansua and his wife, and they stay of their own volition, because then you don't have to include those two in the Shu story, because they fucking add nothing. And then their story would play out like 3XL and 4, where they like search out the people that invaded their land and then accidentally fucking destroy the other factions. They start with Wei. I don't know why. No, they start with Wu. Oh well. Yellow Turbans, Zhang Jiao and Zuo Se, plus converted and brainwashed generals, so like Cao Cao, Liu Bei, Sun Jian, and any of their subordinates. That'd be quite a good way to do it, instead of just having, like in 4, you had anybody with Zhang in their name fight for you for some reason. The Yellow Turban Rebellion, you brainwash one of those 3 officers and they join you. Then it play out like 3XL and 4 again, because I have no ideas. Have that like a comical story, like in Yoshimoto's and Samurai Warriors. Sort of, because he always goes on about the way of peace and we all just think he's a fucking hippie and whatnot. Finally, Lu Bu, just have it like it was in 8XL, although you could have 2 new hypothetical routes based on his and Diao Chan's stories from Dynasty Warriors 6, which are the only 2 good things from that game. I might actually play through those sometime, because they're pretty good. Final thought on the story mode. I would like stages like Dongjua Lives again as sort of a bonus. You don't have to have it as like canon, but it'd be just like bonus stage. Like if you talk to officers or troops in the camps before battle and they say a certain thing, it activates like a flag, and then if you get all of them, you unlock the stage. They can say stuff like, I heard Lu Bu didn't kill the real Dongjua, I heard a rumour he went into hiding, shit like that. I don't know what you will think about that, but I think that'd be quite cool, because in 4, those were like the best stages, especially the Shu one, because that was fucking hard. If you did that on Expert, you'd bound to fucking lose. Or maybe not, but I don't know. Other non-story related stuff, PC port, make some effort. PC players aren't really the kind of people you want to piss off. I'm not really sure what went wrong really. Like all the games prior to 8 on PC looked better. Looked better than the console counterparts. 4 Hyper looks like ridiculously good compared to the PS2 version. And that is one of the only games that allows you to have an odd number on anti-aliasing. You can have 17 times anti-aliasing, or 15 times or whatever, which I've never seen in any other game. So I don't know where he went wrong. And there's not really an excuse for shit PC ports anymore, is there? Like PS4s are closer to PC than ever, so it should be just easy. Yet they fucking port the PS3 version. I don't get, like, what? Why the fuck did you do that? You're just wasting money there. weapon models. I think the third weapon, so the ones that appear in all the fucking renders and artwork and art, that should be the first weapon. And then go from there. Just have like these fucking gnarly, badass weapons. Because no one uses tier 1 or 2 weapons, they just look like shit. Like, just have them for generic officers, because they deserve nothing more. 4th and 5th weapons, or rare weapons, or whatever you want to fucking call them, because they seem to change every game, include... Yeah, if they include both, have the first one be gotten on hard, and then have the second one be done on chaos. Yeah, because the 6th weapons in 8XL you could do on hard, which is fucking stupid. Because they were like ridiculously powerful weapons. So have it on chaos, be a bit more of a challenge. Make some people cry. This would be funny. When in the last video when I said about the return of counterattacks, you don't even need to get new animations. I just thought you can just reuse the switch counter animation, and that's pretty good because it's yeah, it's got a wide range for quite a lot of them, and you get a bonus as well. So if you do that, that'd be good. Possibly fix elements to characters, so have a preferred element that does bonus damage, sort of balancing the game a bit. And characters that have element-dependent attacks, like Sunshine and Saipsai, change the element according to what they're using. So change the rings of fire or poison mist or ice strike to rain of fire arrows or thunder. So with Saipsai, you wouldn't with his first X attack, you could have fire arrows if you change your element to fire instead of ice, because it doesn't really make sense sometimes. Or in the case of some attacks, just change them completely, like they did with Arslan Warriors of Legend. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, because if you changed your weapon, I can't remember what it's called, but if you change your weapon element, it does change the attacks for some of them. Storm Rushes to come back, because they're pretty cool. Either have them available all the time against officers when you juggle them in the air for a certain combo, or just keep them in the air for a certain amount of time, or you incorporate them into an element system. So if you use an element that beats the opponent, you can use it so like fire beats ice, or ice beats lightning, and such and such. Ice doesn't beat lightning. Just an example. More items and more skills, providing a different way to play the game. Because currently, if you do ultimate, it's just out damage the opponent. It's not. It's pretty shitty, really. You cannot tank that mode in any way. It's just fucking kill them before they kill you, really. And for example, like if you play as a defensive, if you want to play defensive and use counter attacks, like Siren even, is known for his defense. So enable us to play like defensive, because he's a bit of a he's like one of the most powerful fucking characters in the game, and yet he's known for defense. It doesn't really make sense. More aimable attacks like Wang Yuanji's second X attack, and one of Jiran's attacks, where it sort of like zooms in over the shoulder. Have that for ranged attacks, or characters like Wen Yang and Zhao Yun if they like throw their spears or javelin or whatever. Yeah, and improve it so you can single out the enemies you want. It's very much in their infant stages, isn't it, with the aiming shit? Because it never goes where you want, but it's up for me anyway. Because if you change the camera settings, it doesn't change that. I don't know why. Add unique NPCs such as Hua Xiong, Yan Liang, and Wen Chou, Yuan Shu as well. If they do that, they can add them as DLC later. Not that I'm approving of DLC, but or you can make them playable in Extreme Legends. Just a thought. make a change from having all like the 3 different generic officers, because they all look like the fucking same in the end after you've played it for like 200 hours. Don't remove any characters, but if they have to, remove Zosa, because
I mean, you are a real boring fuck. Sorry, I know that you disapprove of swearing, so I'll sort that out. You are a boring F star cunt.
he is fucking boring. They took an extra stage away from Way story mode just to fight that fucking over easy piss bag. I cannot get why they fucking re-added him. You know what? Actually, do remove him. Just fucking remove him, and then you don't have like fucking hate that guy. No duplicate stages as well. But if they have to, and we know they will, because they just fucking will. Although they managed it with Dynasty Warriors 5, they only reused stages in the Extreme Legends expansion, but they did add a shitload of new ones. Well, if they have to do that, at least have battles in similar areas, like Guanqiu Qian and Wenqin's Rebellion uses the same map as Tianshui, despite them being on the opposite sides of China. Why? It's the same time of day as well. That fucking annoyed me. At least when they did it in 7, it was in the evening, because it used the same map as Conquest of Wu, whatever the fucking stage called. Because that was in the morning, so it did look a bit different. And don't do the fucking Samurai Warriors thing where they just change the mini map so it looks like a different stage. That fucking annoyed me as well. Oh yeah, it's a different stage. Oh no, it's not. It's just that they've put the castle at the bottom left instead of the top right. Fuck that. If they have to reuse stages, do the Dynasty Warriors 4 style of things, because that was probably the best way. 'Cause as a kid, it took me a while to realise some stages were the same. Yeah, cut the stages up and add and remove bits. So it wouldn't just be the whole same map, you would actually get new bits and cut bits off. Yeah, change the weather and the time of day so it does look different, so then we don't think you're just lazy bastards. I think that would probably work, yeah. Yeah, and you wouldn't piss as many people off. And it give a bit more life to the game, I think. So there we go, I think that is everything. Yeah, this probably won't be the last of these videos. I plan to do one more on what characters they should add. So I better get my thinking cap on. And when they officially announce it, I will do news on what info they release and give my thoughts on what characters they show. They will inevitably release a character that I don't like, so I can predict with a swear there. They love to drip feed us stuff week by week, so do stay tuned for that, or don't. As always, thanks, and praise the gravy.